day. My name is Rowena Kajumba. Of course, we're going to be heading straight into our interview as we get ready for our feed there in Chankwanzi. Now, of course, what we're looking at here is that it is a must for government employees to actually receive their benefits as they retire. Now, the unfortunate bit is that some gets the funds when they can't ably invest. And of course, Uganda Retirement Benefits Authority seeks a revision of the law for early retirement. Now, with me here in the studios is Patricia Akot, who is the head of pension in Liaison Group, and she's going to be talking to us really, extensively about this whole situation. You're very welcome, Patricia.
Thank you very much, Arena.
Yes, thank you for giving us time.
Thank you very much.
Indeed. Now, pension. This is a discussion that many people might think, yeah, well, but it is very key. It is very important, really, at the end of the day. But what we're looking at here, if we could standard retirement age here, 55 years of age, but also the fact that so many times we're seeing by that time it's not really viable, really, is it?
That's a common question we get from the members whose pensions we manage at Liaison. We've been doing this since 2007, and it's interesting. Everybody always wants to know, how soon can I get my money? People want to get their NSSF as soon as possible. But now the challenge with that is it defeats the whole purpose of saving for retirement, which is to protect you against old age poverty. Now, as we have the people living longer after retirement, it only suits that retirement packages should be geared and planned around providing that protection in old age when people stop working. The question that I normally ask is, what are you going to do with that 15% that you have not been able to do with the 65% of your income in your working years? That is the biggest question that needs to be asked. So in terms of 55, I think it's perfect, and it shouldn't even be reduced, actually, especially for the mandatory scheme. Yes.
Seems like a perfect age, really.
Yes.
Half and half, whereby someone can still be able to do something for themselves. But well, now, of course, we're looking at the fact that Uganda Retirement Benefits Authority is seeking new regulation to guide the pension benefit scheme. Let's talk about that.
Yes. Well, what the UBRA is really seeking to make sure that retirement benefits are enhanced for all savers and workers in Uganda. So what does that mean for the workforce today? It means that much as you're saving for NSSF, which is mandatory, there are all these other options that are being opened up so that your retirement benefits are enhanced. A study was done to show that what NSSF is offering here in Uganda, if you save for 30 years, you'll only be able to get an income replacement ratio of about 26%, which, sincerely speaking, I don't know how many people would feel comfortable to live with an income which is about 26% of their salary in this time in their retirement. Many people will not, and that's why UBRA has gone out of its way to enhance the growth of the sector, to see that options are expanded for members. If you notice that since the regulation was first passed, schemes have been licensed. We have over 62 schemes now in the sector, so options have been expanded for members to save for their retirement, which is brilliant. Yes.
Saving for retirement, that sounds good. But you see, every time we see, or rather there's a number of times we've seen people really get their money, and I don't know if it's excitement, when you get it and you're like, yes, and people tend to waste their money.
Yes.
So what are you, as the Liaison Group, doing to, help the people in that situation? You say, well, it's retirement time, I need to get my monies, I need to look out for what to do. What are those things you look into to say, well, let's help the people?
Well, it's not just Liaison, but as a sector, we are looking for more innovative approaches to enhance the saving culture for members, especially for retirement. In fact, when people think about retirement, someone joins work at 20 years, 23 years, the last thing on their mind is retirement, which is very unfortunate, because at the end of the day, it's almost like death. We'll all eventually get there. So what the sector has done, NSSF is already providing a minimum living standard for people in retirement, for those who save under NSSF. There have been schemes that have been opened up to cover the rest of the population that it may not have access to NSSF as a savings platform. Even NSSF has gone to expand that access with the bill that they're promoting, so that more members will be covered under NSSF, and as well as the other occupational retirement schemes or voluntary retirement schemes. So we have found solutions that work with the saving culture of Ugandans that we have encountered. We've made it very simple for them to save for their retirement, and we've done this through our most recent product, which is a Liaison Umbrella Fund that really blows the lid off the retirement options for savers in Uganda.
Okay, very interesting. So you also train?
Yes, training is a sector-wide approach together with the regulator, because annually the regulator will do trainings at least once for individuals who are about to retire. So at least 5 years to retirement, you'll have a training. But as an administrator in the sector for retirement schemes, we conduct trainings each year for our membership. Now, at an AGM, it's a forum where you'll have the entire workforce, those who are 50, those who are 20, those who've just joined, to come in and begin to get a feel of what retirement planning is all about, and give them all the options. And now the thing is, we advise them as much as possible to enhance their retirement package. When you have voluntary schemes that we do now, the provident funds, which are very popular, which allow someone to save in retirement, and when you leave employment, you could carry those benefits into another scheme, or you could manage to, if you already have solid retirement plans, to invest in those retirement plans. For example, build a house or start up that build farming, for example, which works for many people.
Which is quite interesting. Okay, so now that we really identify that Uganda Retirement Benefits Authority is seeking new regulation guides, do you think that this would actually fill up some of the gaps that we're seeing in the pension sector?
Yes, most definitely. Although I would like to say that the idea, there is a rumor in the market. I'll say a rumor because it's really just a rumor that there are interests, and there's a lot of pressure to bring down that retirement age so that people can access that money even sooner. Now, with those kinds of rumors and that kind of thinking, we shall be going back and will not achieve the objectives of developing the sector in the beginning. There's so much protection that is given under the UBRA for all retirement schemes in the sector, where you'll have, for example, members' benefits are entirely protected against all their creditors, which is a fantastic opportunity for members to save in the schemes licensed by UBRA.
Interesting. So we've all had it. It's time for you to go and pick your pension money. It's very difficult. It's not easy to access it. And then the next thing you hear is embezzlement stories. So, I mean, at the end of the day, this is clearly one of the challenges that are within the sector. How best do you feel, being part, in the field here, that such issues can be dealt with?
Well, the first thing for any retirement scheme is how solid their good governance structures are. And that is the biggest challenge, and that is the breaking point for retirement schemes. When you hear those stories, those scandals, you know that there was a governance issue. Much as the regulation has gone ahead to protect members' savings with stringent regulations and guidelines on how these things how retirement benefit schemes are run, we go ahead to, you have a solid training plan, develop local talent in the market, so that you have more people who are working in the pension sector, who are informed and who know how to do the job of managing schemes.
I've seen people move every day just so that they can get their money. It's interesting. Okay. Now, you talked about the Liaison Umbrella Fund.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Now, the Liaison Umbrella Fund is our greatest pride as Liaison so far, because it speaks very directly to our values. It's personal, analytical, and dynamic. This solution has been something that has been a plan in place since 2014. It was developed around the interests of our members. It's developed to govern against some of the challenges we've seen in the market. We've seen many retirement schemes that have been poorly managed. So Liaison Umbrella Fund goes ahead to address that. How does it do that? Now, well, one, Liaison Umbrella Fund is entirely managed by professionals. So that removes some of those challenges that you see in good governance that fail other retirement schemes. 2, Liaison Umbrella Fund is entirely dedicated towards giving members the best return they can get for their retirement savings. It's extremely flexible, so members can decide how much they want to save towards their retirement depending on their goals. We put in place tools so that members can project how much their retirement goals are worth and how much they should be able to.
So you go in there knowing
Yes,
what you
yes,
expect
yes,
to
yes.
get.
Yes.
So how do you deal with some of the challenges, or rather, what are those challenges that you've identified that most of your clients might actually be facing?
Well, our clients are in 2 broad categories. We have the institutions and then we have the individuals.
Yes.
Now, individuals, normally you find so many people struggling with the idea of where do I save my money? Where do I go? I want to save for retirement, but how do I go about it? Now, this solution is simple. For a 3-step process of joining, you'll be able to save in a retirement scheme that's well governed and run so efficiently that all your benefits come to you and you easily monitor them through an online platform. It also goes ahead to pay members everything that is due to them until the last month that they served. How do we do this? After a financial year audit, we call back those who left within the year to receive that extra interest that they could have missed. So for individual members, it provides convenience, and it also gives them the ability to make additional voluntary contributions, because sometimes you may have a platform which says this is the standard contribution rate, but with the umbrella fund you're able to say this is not enough, my goals are ambitious, let me save a little bit more. For the institutional clients, Liaison Umbrella Fund offers you a solution that takes away the hurdle of managing many contracts, because under the regulation you should at least appoint 3 service providers to manage your pension scheme. But now with the Liaison Umbrella Fund, you're dealing with 1 contract. 1 contract, 1 fee that has been subsidized because of the bringing numbers together, and also dealing with professionals and minimizing costs that other standalone schemes encounter. So it makes it extremely easy, and it also removes the liability from them because it's transferred to the umbrella fund and the management of that. And also there are systems in place that take care of that liability better than you would do if you were standing alone.
So here's the thing. You're going to tell me why or what is actually different with this particular fund. You know, of course, there's so many things. We have been talking about UNICEF and all that. So what is that is different with you as the Liaison Fund group that people should be like, yeah, well, we need to be a part of this. We need to get ourselves a part of this. Because let's be honest, now people are looking for the best deal out there. The fact that it's becoming a broader sector and broader, you know, so many players coming through. Why, if I woke up one day and said, I think I need to work with you guys?
Well, Liaison Umbrella Fund was designed just for you. It was designed by Ugandans, and it's based entirely on the experience that we've seen in the market. We know you want your monies to paid. You want your monies to be paid instantly. I mean, everything is instant. So we have developed here, we've really invested in technology. We have ICT systems that have improved our efficiencies and also have given access to members to easily view their benefits online, to make different changes to their saving plans in terms of the contribution rate based on their projections. It's also been easy for you to model, because at the Liaison Umbrella Fund, we don't dictate to you what your retirement plan looks like. We know that each individual has their retirement goal and even retirement age, by the way. So much as you expected in Uganda to retire at 55 years.
So if I came over like, what, 45, and you're like, yeah, okay.
Yes, because yes, we do, because we know that every individual has their own retirement plan.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yes. So of course the state has a responsibility to make sure they protect, and that's why there's that benchmark, the NSSF, which is the safety net for everybody. But with the Liaison Umbrella Fund, you'll say, I want to retire at 40 years, for example. And then this is how much I need to contribute towards my retirement goals and to achieve that goal. And then you'll be able to save, knowing very well that all your money is for retirement, actually going towards a retirement saving. Then we've also put in place mechanisms by choosing the best service providers to support the management of this scheme. So in terms of good governance, we've selected not just any professional, we've got licensed service providers who do specific roles. So with this segregation, your money is that extra protected.
Okay.
Yeah,
And we'll have to know that the money is safe. So.
yes.
Yeah.
So for Liaison Umbrella Fund, really, it's your fund. You design your retirement plan, and we will walk the journey with you.
Interesting.
Yes.
So a final word there to the people that are watching you on this Friday morning.
Yes.
If you look into the camera and go like,
well, the final word would be really part of the quotation that I gave earlier. NSSF is currently providing you income replacement ratio of about 26% if you save for 30 years in NSSF. Now, if you are already over 30, you have a few more years to reach that time. Now, the quick question I have for you is, actually I have two questions for you. One, is that 26% income replacement ratio enough for you? Are you ready to live on that income for the rest of your retirement life, knowing very well that people live longer these days after retirement? And two, if you're, rather, as you say, for your retirement planning, I mean, think if NSSF is taking away 5% of your earnings, and say the taxman takes away 30%, you're left with 65%. So what difference is the 5% going to make to you that the 65% hasn't?
So you need to check yourself before you actually go to retire.
Yes, you need to be more aggressive and more deliberate about your retirement plan.
Indeed.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. I do appreciate you for coming here to join us this particular morning. And I must say she's done a great job convincing me as well. Patricia Cott, who is the head of Pension Liaison Group. Thank you so much. And I must say, I'm beginning to think about certain things now, yeah? Thank you so much for your time. Do not go away, stay watching UB's Inspiring Uganda Business Today. It's interesting.